Outreach's Magic Pride Festival is back this year for its 7th anniversary. The festival will be held on Sunday, August 17th from 1 to 6 p.m. at Warner Park. The fest will include performances from local artists who identify as LGBTQ+, food and beverage carts, merchant vendors, info booths, family-friendly games, and more. The Magic Pride Festival celebrates the voices of queer and trans BIPOC in the Madison community. Suggested donation to attend is $5 to $10 or a non-perishable food item for Outreach's pantry. Learn more details at outreachmagicfestival.org. Looking to add a little glow to your home? Wisco Home Goods has you covered with hand-poured soy candles crafted in small batches, made to burn clean, and scented to perfection. Stop by their store at 4664 Cottage Grove Road on Madison's beautiful east side, or browse online at wiscohomegoods.com. Shop local, breathe easy, feel good with Wisco Home Goods. This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Hey there! Before we start today's conversation, I have a favor to ask. Yes, I do. Our great company, CityCast, is doing our annual listener survey, and it would mean the world if you took it. We use survey data to help us make better shows, better newsletters, and just serve you better. A note, if you took the survey last year, we'd really appreciate it if you took it again, because we can't use last year's data anymore. You ready to give us feedback? Go to citycast.fm/survey to take the survey. It's only 7 minutes long. We timed it. That's citycast.fm/survey. And a big up, when you take this survey, you'll also be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and CityCast Madison swag. So one more time, citycast.fm/survey. Today, it's moving season here in Madison, and whether you're going across town or across the street, there are some rules that all Madisonians need to know when it comes to this time of year. With me today to break it all down is Brian Johnson, Recycling Coordinator and Public Information Officer with the City of Madison. Brian, welcome back to the show.
Hello. Glad to be back.
Yeah, so happy to see you. You know, love it or hate it, August means moving in Madison, particularly around the campus area and on the Isthmus. And it's a feat. The city supports this effort by upping trash and recycling pickups. This year, that began on Monday, August 4th, and it runs through Friday, August 22nd. So what exactly does that entail for the city?
It's an annual tradition. Like I said, we've been doing it for probably as long as there have been students and as long as there have been the city collecting from the students. And so we've gotten pretty practiced at it over the years. And so for us, as we see more material migrating from the homes out to the curb, we just start reassigning more crews to get up to respond in kind. It's a lot of counter punching. And that's really what it's been like. Right around the end of July, we start seeing a little more stuff kind of trickling out. I'm like, okay, some people are getting a head start at this. Great, excellent. The more you plan, the easier this is on everybody else. So we've started shifting some people around from other duties, moving them up there to kind of patrol through that student move out area. During that move out time too, we do extra collections of carts, both trash and recycling carts. We really want to encourage people in that move out zone to use their carts like daily. So basically fill them up, fill it out to the curb. We'll get them dumped so you can give them back to you to fill them up again. So that's that 4th all the way to the 22nd. We're trying to dump them as often as we can. We have extra large item pickup running around during that time too. But we still need people to follow all the rules. So make large item work orders for like things like tires, dehumidifiers, kind of those specialty items like that if you need it. And for your electronics like TVs, computers, modems, fistful of cords, any of that kind of stuff, bring it to a drop-off site so you handle that stuff the right way. Also things like batteries and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the origins of the August lease are a bit hazy, but sources kind of agree that it seems to stem from being tied to UW-Madison's academic calendar. From a city perspective, do y'all like the August lease cycle?
Well, I mean, like is probably a strong turn of phrase, but it's really useful because it's like a snowstorm you can plan for. We know exactly when it's going to happen. And it's in a really compact area of the city, which is nice too, as opposed to having little pockets happening as like a rolling problem throughout the city, because it's right around campus. It's happening this one time of year. It can really help us to be able to plan for this, where we know what we're getting ourselves into every single year. We know right where it's going to happen. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of heavy lifting, like literal heavy lifting, because it's a lot of people grabbing stuff by hand. But it's about as ideal a situation as you can have it, I suppose, for something like this.
Yeah, it really helps with the coordination, I imagine.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And before we get too deep into the logistics, I do want to talk about where this all takes place, because the student moving zone is a specific place in Madison, as you shared. Can you walk us through the boundaries so we know who all this applies to generally?
It's the Yahara River on the east, and then the western boundary is a little wiggly because there's not a clean north-south street over there or a good landmark. It's like Franklin Street, and it goes south, and then it's kind of nearish to the Edgewood College area where the Dead President streets are, kind of over in there. Then we have a map on the Moving Days website. So if you go to cityandmadison.com/moving days, you can kind of really see clearly where it is.
So what happens if you're moving, but you live outside of that move out zone?
Yeah, so if you're anywhere else in the city, like the large item rules will still apply to you and the other sort of street division rules still apply. That's one of the tricks with the move out for us, is that even though our services are heightened in that move out zone, they stay the same for everybody else. Large item pickup doesn't slow down for people outside of the move out area. So you still need to do the workouts, and we're still fulfilling those work orders too. We just have to do both. We're still doing trash and recycling collection like usual for outside of the move out area. Our drop off sites are still functioning for everyone, both people in the move out area and those without. It's just we have to do a little bit extra for those in that downtown zone. So if you are in these other areas outside and your lease is ending right around now, or the end of July or end of August, or you're caught up in another move out situation, make those large item work orders. If large item pickup applies to you, use the drop-off site. If it doesn't, if you can't use the large item pickup and you live in like a big apartment complex or something like that, make sure you're talking with your property managers about how a bulky item pickup works for you. Is it just contacting the dumpster company? Is it some other situation? But if it's just a single family home or up to like an 8-unit apartment building, just make that large item work order. Go to cityandmadison.com/large item or /large item work order. Fill the form out and we'll come by you. The way the large item system works, you fill out the form, you set the item out on Sunday, we come during the work week following that Sunday to pick up the stuff. There can be a little bit of confusion about that because I think there's an assumption that you make the work order, it tells you to set the item out on a Sunday.
And it's going to get picked up right away.
Yeah, which is like a reasonable thing, right? You make the work, or you make sort of like a delivery schedule. You think the thing's going to happen on that day. Yeah, we don't work on Sundays. The reason why we want items out on Sunday is because it gives us some flexibility, because there's 600 work orders or so, no wait, 700 work orders typically in a given work week for us to fulfill. So that gives us time to roam through as quickly as we can to get as many as we can collect in one work week usually. And
Sure.
We just want people to have that item out waiting for us. Sometimes we're going to be there right away. Sometimes it might take us a couple days, but just don't mess around and wait too long because you might miss your chance too for us. So just get it out on that Sunday that you pick. We'll be there as soon as we can.
It's very reasonable.
Yeah, it's not that bad, for like, it's a weekly opportunity for a large item pickup, and majority of Madison residents get the service for free. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We're
feel
gonna
like Larry David right then. The pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But with the move out though, like the work order thing, we really just want people to have crews roaming around grabbing stuff, because like it's such a chaotic big thing in that move out zone with so many thousands of people all moving at one time. We get it. We know. That's why we're just driving around grabbing all the couches, furniture, chairs, and stuff like that. But if you have like a dehumidifier or a window air conditioner or something like that, we have to get that with a different style of truck. We really prefer people to do the work orders for that to make certain we get that right vehicle there. But and those are the Sunday kind of set out things like that. But we also have crews running around just in that move out area too.
Sure. So I feel like we can't talk about moving season without talking about Hippie Christmas, which for the uninitiated is basically the eclectic, unsanctioned yard sales that spring up on Madison curbs as folks clear out of their spaces. Recently, the city, including you, you've been a vocal person on this, has come out against the local ritual. Why is that?
It's been years, I suppose. We've been not so much against it, but just discouraging, I suppose. It might be there's a few good reasons for it. I don't even like using the term. It's like it's student move out season. Like I don't even say the. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's your Voldemort.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I shouldn't have said that.
Right. No, it's fine. I get it. We get it because I get the urge for it, right? Because you see something at the curb, like, well, clearly they must not want it, and like there's a waste prevention ideas behind it, right? Because like if it looks good, why waste it? I understand the urge. However, there's a lot of like concerns though, like things that could have bugs in it. You don't want to invite those things into your home. These things that could be broken. These things could be stained or smell funny. You don't know what a dog has peed on while it's sitting out there. Things that could be rained on or broken. Or who knows? There's a lot of things that can be out there. And plus, there's so many ways to actually donate things here locally. I would really like to hope that people are making that little bit of effort it takes to get these usable things into these thrift stores and these secondhand marketplaces, like to do a more official way of doing it rather than putting it at the curb and just hoping it gets walked away and something like that. Because like some of these thrift store places will even come to your house for free and pick it up. That's so easy. And then you're supporting their mission, whether it's like the Dane County Humane Society or St. Vinny's, or there's like dozen plus of them, never mind the more like person to person kind of sales exchanges you can do. I just saw in the Cap Times today, like some vintage clothing stores that are popping up on like Atwood.
Yeah, I literally just saw that.
Yeah, me too.
Drove by. I was like, wait, I see a clothes rack on this corner I hadn't seen before.
From the streets division perspective too, with our collection of this stuff, downtown streets are really narrow because they were built in the 18 like whatevers, right? And then parked on both sides, and we're trying to collect this stuff with our big like trash trucks and truck amount of cranes and stuff like that. And so we just gum up the traffic down there trying to do our jobs to make the cities look clean. And if people are pawing through this stuff, making messes, and maybe sometimes people will break the things to try to like cut cords off lamps and stuff like that, and it just makes the mess worse. If people are looking for this like mythical score they might have heard about, it slows down the work that we have to do because you come up to like a pile of stuff that's been strewn all over the place. And it's, what do you do in this case? Because like we had to rake this stuff up because somebody was trying to paw through this mess of stuff. It's like, no, just leave it. If you have something good, don't just throw it out there. Take it to these thrift stores, take it to these places. I've just been wondering here lately, like, why isn't there like more of an organized, like an actual like yard sale type thing for this stuff?
Sure.
There's official channels to actually get this usable stuff done. And then rather than just shoving it and praying that somebody happens upon it. And it's not just like a move out thing too. You see that kind of behavior year round throughout the city where like put something nice at the curb with a note on it that says free, just hoping somebody happens across it. It's like, no, like there's so many places to reuse this the right way. And it could just be as simple as a phone call and someone with the truck will come pick it up and drop it off at a place where it can be reused.
Sure.
Just do that, rather than run the risk that someone just walks by and pushes it over or it falls and breaks and then no one can get it.
Looking for a fun, family-friendly event that truly makes a difference? Join the 18th annual Gilda's Run Walk on Sunday, October 5th at Gilda's Club in Middleton. Whether you choose the self-timed 5K run or the 2-mile walk, there's something for everyone, including when you cross the finish line, a picnic with Ruth's Crisp Burgers, chocolate shop ice cream, and activities for all ages. Need a little help getting started? Their free Couch to 5K program offers expert guidance to keep you motivated every step of the way. Register by August 31st for early bird pricing, just $35 for adults and $25 for kids. And get your official event t-shirt. Want to make an even bigger impact? Form a team and fundraise to help keep Gilda's club program free and accessible for those affected by cancer. Every dollar raised stays right here in Wisconsin, supporting local families. This event is presented by Exact Sciences, Levy Giving Fund, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and WKOW. Sign up today at gildasrunwalk.com, and together, let's make every step count.
Got any fun trips coming up? One thing you probably haven't put on your packing list is learning the language. But with Babbel, you can start talking in just a few weeks. I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel. And I also just persuaded my friend who's going to France this fall to learn French with Babbel, but that is another story. Babbel's extremely fun and intuitive. It's like having a private tutor in your pocket. Handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers and built with science-backed cognitive tools and interactive features to fit any learning style. I love a lot of the different Babbel features. The Babbel games for sentence building, Babbel speech recognition, which helps me get the pronunciation right. And now I'm really into Babbel's word of the day, which greets me on the homepage of the app. Every day, a new word revealed like a little surprise with a sentence to help contextualize it. It's like a daily treat for me. Studies from Yale, Michigan State, and other leading universities continue to prove that Babbel works. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. Look, I want you to learn another language. So I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Babbel.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
You're really bringing to light the hidden cost, or at least hidden to people who aren't working in the city and doing the cleanup, because Hippie Christmas is like Christmas, joy, presents, like until recently, the thought that this could be negative really occurred to me, except for in the sense I'm like, oh, shoot, like, it's raining. All of this stuff is getting kind of soggy and destroyed. And you mentioned at the top of the reasons why Hippie Christmas is maybe less Christmas-like, less, positive than it seems, is about safety and people's safety. And people are picking things up by hand, if things have been broken. There's a public health consideration here. And then I don't know if there's any sense of like just how much more time, like cost it is to pick up something like all of the stuff that does get broken and kind of scattered everywhere. It just sounds like maybe for the city, this is not just a free, yay, these are free things, but there's a cost.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Like, I don't have like a number to back up like how much more time we're spending for like the disturbed piles and that. But crews notice that whenever you come to piles that have obviously been like pawed through or picked through for whatever reason, and are the things that are just these unruly piles, either because someone waited to like the T-minus 10 minutes to try to move out and shoved all the stuff out to the curb, and it's just a big mess of stuff, or someone did try to like find something. In the back of my head too, I always wonder how many of these like great scores were like some accidental thieving. Like, not that the person would do it on purpose, but you just caught someone mid-move, and then you just, well, it's time of year, so it's excellent stereo system. Who would know, And then like, because every once like we get calls every year like looking for stuff.
Oh, wow.
Like that goes missing during. Like usually it's like nothing like big item like that. It's typical. I do remember one call. Someone was trying to find like their plastic patio furniture that went missing, and I was like, well, I mean, we may have taken it like the streets division, because if it's on the terrace and you're in that move out zone, we're grabbing it if we're there. So, and if we've gotten it, it's going to be crushed in the back of a truck, so it's probably gone.
Sure. But on the issue of theft, there was a situation, my stomach dropped for a second, where me and an old friend, we came across a kayak. And it was on the side of the road, not close. It was like on, what is that called between the sidewalk and the street? That little... Here
in the streets, we call it the terrace.
The terrace.
It goes by many names, but we say a terrace here. So
the terrace. And so we stood there and waited for like 15 minutes. Like, we're pretty sure like it seems wild that someone would put this out here, but people put out TVs. Like sometimes it actually be depending on people's situations, it might be more costly for them to figure out how to move it and that they truly are leaving it. So we just waited and we're just like, well, I mean, they put it on the area. Anyway, the point being is I could see where confusion can happen because we went out of our way to be like, make sure that this is not someone in process, that they actually just were getting rid of this with other stuff.
We see it from on the street side in like neighborhoods too. Like when you see a kid's bike in front of someone's house, did they mean to get rid of it or did a kid just drop it? And so like it's hard to know what intent is when the stuff is sitting there unattended, and like you just don't know. Did that kayak fall off of some person's car on their way to some place and they haven't figured it out yet and somebody else just dragged it off to the side of the road?
In that scenario, we really did run through it because when I think about it, I'm just like, this is too big of an item for it to be accidentally forgotten or like fall. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you guys really are, this is neglect. It was right downtown, like right by the Children's Museum. Like at the very least, like y'all, if you don't... What are you doing?
No, like that's the thing where you just wonder too. And like the kind of calls we get for like missing stuff during the move out is usually like set of keys, wallets, stuff like that people may have like, they think they left it in the trash or something like that. And like that's, unless you catch it like right away and we can maybe flag the trash truck down that might be in that neighborhood to let someone maybe paw through some trash for a little bit to maybe find it. But 99.9% of the time that is just gone, because of the time you realize it, that's going to be mixed in with tons and tons of other stuff. There's no finding it again. But I too am on the internet. I have seen the stories of things that people claim to found. But the one thing you may have found 8 years ago is that, and then the people are trying to replicate this one story, and making messes that are very real today. Like how many more messes are you going to make to slow everything else down to try to like replicate this one thing that you kind of believe from this one person? Like you want to believe. We all want to find that gold at the rainbow. But you know what? St. Vinny's does a dig and save. You can go dig through that stuff. You want to go dig at some stuff. And also Goodwill has that pay by the pound thing that they got over on the southeast side. There's ways to dig and find some stuff if you want to without making a mess for like everything else downtown too, if you really need to like scratch that itch.
I found true gems at Dig and Save. You are representing your side of the argument. I'm going to throw in one foil, and I want to hear what you have to say about this.
That's fine.
Which is like, and I know you've thought of this, but people are thinking that they're saving items from going to the landfill. And, I've seen people with trucks coming through filled with items, and this is years ago. So now I feel more now that we're having this nuanced conversation about what's actually happening here, I feel a little more complicated about Hippie Christmas. But before I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm competing with people driving around and picking up lots of nice items and doing something with them. I mean, maybe they were going to donate them to, St. Vinny's, that sort of thing. But the idea that people are saving things from getting into the landfill. And here's the second part of that foil, because you said donate it. Our St. Vinny's is pretty cool. Like they really accept a lot of things, but there are an increasing amount of thrift stores that really aren't taking everything. Like there's a lot of stuff and they turn a lot of things away. So what do you think about that in terms of people having that mindset that this is going to go to the trash and our landfill, isn't it getting like full?
Honestly, that's where I get conflicted about this stuff too, where it's like trying to draw that line between like there isn't a pretty clear city ordinance against like scavenging stuff from the curb like that. Like the spirit of that is really around like the people grabbing metal items, particularly things that have like Freon and CFCs or other sort of hazardous stuff that could be in there. Like we don't want ever to encourage that behavior at all. And from like that public health perspective and things like that, and like how much of this stuff is really broken, and you don't want to encourage people to paw through this stuff and make messes. And that's what our crews are out there. Like, and our priority is to make the city looking clean. They are, if they're coming at it from this perspective, preventing something from the landfill, like there's that tug too. I get it, and I know from the the thrift store, kind of Goodwill, St. Vinny's, Boomerangs, Humane Society, or Grace thrift stores, all these other opportunities out there. A lot of the furniture that kind of comes out this time of year too, a lot of it is sort of made to be disposable. Like it's more cheaply made. It's like a pressboard type thing. It's sort of a break apart type stuff. And so they generally don't want it because it's already broken or it's not really meant to be like rebuilt again. And
not in great condition.
Yeah. It's hard for them to resell it or to build it back together and stuff like that. They really don't want those materials. And so it's tricky for them to kind of deal with that stuff too. And so like that's where I kind of, even though I was kidding a little bit, joking about like that yard sale type thing, but like if there was a more like organized way to go about this, but even that's
tricky. Would the city open up a street and then people could bring it there and then it could still be free? Because I mean, people just want free things.
I know. Well, that's the thing. That's the trick right now as part of the landfill expansion. You mentioned landfill being full. The current landfill site, yes, within the next, I can't remember how many years it is exactly left that the current landfill site will be filled.
Was it like around 5 or 6?
5 or 6, yeah. It's pretty soon.
Coming up.
And then, so they're moving across the street there's 18 holes of the current, of the Harry Hills Golf Course was 36. 18 holes of that was sold to the Dane County to turn that into not just a landfill, but also the sustainability campus to be able to divert more waste from the landfill site. And like one of the ideas there for that campus thing was some sort of like last chance mercantile type thing that you see at some of these other states and facilities that have like a sustainability campus type model for things. But then, which, for our move out thing, kind of a fit. But if all of the stuff is kind of broken pressboard stuff, what do you do with it? How do you store it? You're waiting for this one person that might be able to do something with it or want it or to make something new out of it. And who is that?
This is what you do. You hire a DJ. You make it cool. You make sure people bring some gems. So you have to bring one gem along there. Like make it... I know I'm laughing, but I'm half serious. Everyone in Madison loves a party.
All right, so DJ Bianca. So
DJ Bianca.
What do you do in August 2026?
Dirty talk. Trash party, but hidden gem party. Yeah. Oh.
But yeah. that would be the admission, right? Like the one thing that could be reused and it's not just another shower caddy.
Right. I think I've gotten like works of art off the side of the road, but I remember, things get rained on. This is such a complicated situation. So I'm glad that we could bring some light to it and some nuance. And maybe there aren't completely easy answers here, but we know that there are places you can donate things to that it's also for a good cause. Yeah.
And that's where I think I'd rather it wind up there because we have this robust marketplace for this stuff. And I get that that's why whenever we try to get these releases out there and try to get this information out there, it's like the leases ending shouldn't come as a surprise. And if you're taking that first step where it's like, okay, this is stuff I need, this is stuff I don't want. Okay, of the stuff that I don't want anymore doesn't spark joy for whatever reason, or I'm just not going to need it for whatever this next step of my life is, for whatever it may be. Like, what can be reused again? And a lot of these places too, like they have a set of eyes to know what can be reused and what can't. So it's okay to donate some things if you're sort of questioning it. Like it's okay because like especially for things like textiles and all that, even if it's not necessarily something that can be like resold in current stores, they have marketplaces for things like industrial rags or for like insulation for some of these, and some of this stuff does wind up getting shipped around overseas sometimes too, which I like, there's the carbon footprint for that. Like our consumption isn't perfect the way we consume things and things like that. It's difficult, and like the no waste is the best waste, really.
Right.
And so the ideally would be take everything with you to the next place.
So be thoughtful in the front end on what you buy and what you bring into your house so you don't have to be getting rid of so much stuff. And, I know that we made joke about a party here, but at the new sustainability campus. But Brian, I'm interested in continuing those talks. So we know about 1 million pounds of trash is generated a year just from our city, and it's not sustainable. And maybe we could do something fun. We'll think about that.
That's the 1 million pounds from the move out.
just the move out. Sorry.
Just the move out. Yeah,
just
like
clear.
the
Holy
actual
smokes.
trash, and the trash from the city, like, is, I know how much the streets division collects, how many, like, tens of thousands of tons that would be in a year, but like the actual city is going to be more, because the streets division doesn't collect from everywhere in the city. Like, that's not every apartment tower. The university is separate from the city. Like, the way the trash pickup goes, there's gobs and gobs of it out there. And an idea of doing like a donate and take, or like a way to kind of formalize some sort of thing like that, not enough time to pull it off this year, because for like permits and scheduling and promotion and stuff like that, to really do it for the 2026 move out, to kind of try something again, like working with some things to figure out how do we do this to get back into that. I am all ears. You said TVs at the curb earlier. Don't put your TV at the curb. That was on a picture on the Isthmus this week, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be so mad. Bring it to a drop-off site, even if it works. If you don't want it and you can't find someone to give it away, just recycle it at a drop-off site. Don't just leave it at the curb. Like those, it's free to a drop-off site. There's other electronics recyclers out there too.
We're going to get more. So we're starting with TVs, and to your note, like the city, you guys are going to do the planning on how to make an event happen. DJ, Bianca, I will start preparing for my role in that, and y'all figure out the guidelines of what people can bring, and we're going to have something. But we are going to end this episode with some fun, in the spirit of no TVs on the sidewalk, on the curb. That's our first one. We're going to do a little rapid fire run through. I'm going to name items, and you're going to tell me if they get tossed in the trash, recycled, or need special disposals, okay?
Gotcha.
And we only have 30 seconds, so we might not get through all of them, but we'll see how many we can get through, okay?
Okay, I'll be quick.
Clock is starting now. Beanbag chairs.
Trash or a large item pickup.
Cardboard boxes.
Recycle, flatten, green cart, or drop-off site.
Batteries.
Drop-off site. You absolutely got to take them to the drop-off site. Lithium batteries and nickel batteries, tape them before you bring them to us. Use clear tape.
Shower curtain.
Trash, absolutely. Do not put that in the recycling cart. It's terrible for that. Trash only, please.
Bed frame.
Large item pickup, both metal and wood ones, or the drop-off site as well.
Styrofoam.
Drop-off site for recycling only. I'm talking about the molded styrofoam pieces for that. Do not put that in your recycling cart at the curb. It's bad news for that. If you absolutely cannot come to the drop-off site with your styrofoam, you can put it in the trash. If you don't live in the city of Madison and you're listening to this and you want to recycle your styrofoam, take it to Reynolds Urethane Recycling. They have a public drop-off site. They don't care where you live. In the city of Madison, I have to care where you live. When you come to our drop-off site, it's for city residents only.
Okay, well, we passed time a moment ago. I'll give us one more time. Plastic bags.
Take those back to a retailer. There is a ban on bans in the state of Wisconsin. We cannot ban them locally. So obviously avoid them if you can, but if you can't, to recycle those things, take them back to the retailer.
All right, Brian, this has been so fun. And we appreciate all the work that you do for our city and being eco-minded and looking out. Folks can also go online. We're going to have links to the city, and you can find out other items as well and like what you should do with them. Thank you for playing and helping us move a little easier this year.
This was a hoot. Thanks for having me. This was good.
That's Brian Johnson, Recycling Coordinator and Public Information Officer for the City of Madison. If you want to learn more about Move Out from the City, like details on zones and large item collection, head to our show notes for a link. And we want to know, what are your thoughts on Hippie Christmas? Do you have any solutions to keep the fun alive with less waste? Call in and leave us a voicemail at 608-318-3367. That's all for today, here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. Don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. And hey, if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this episode with someone who put their packing off to the last minute, or a local who likes to thrift. Alrighty, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care.